Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Remember what we were discussing in the last class? So we have started the proc transpose, right?
Yes, sir.
What proc transpose will do?
It will convert to variable into observation and observation into variable.
It will convert the variables into observations and observations into variables.
Observations into variables.
So I have 101, ABC, 23, female, 5000, 102, DF, 27, male, 6000. Thousand 104 XYZ 21 male 4000. So this is the data I'm having. I'm creating a data set called DS1. Input, I'm writing ID, name, character variable dollar symbol, age, sex character variable dollar symbol, and then I'm writing the salary semicolon, then I'm writing the data box. And finally, if you want, you can keep a semicolon, write the run statement. So this is the data set I'm having. If I execute this program, I will have a DS1 data set in the work library. Now, I want to transpose this data. If you want to transpose, what is the program that you will do? What is the procedure that you will write? We will write proc transpose. Transpose data is equal to the data set name. Data is equal to which data set that you want to transpose? DS1.
DS1.
Then semicolon run. This is the minimum program that we can write. This is the basic program you can write. Tell me what will happen if I execute this program?
Variables coming to
It will come horizontal data.
By default, it will transpose only. Only. It will transpose only numerical variables.
Numerical variables.
It will transpose only numerical variables. And I told you by default it doesn't have that output, so it will create its own data set. So what is the data set that it will create now? Data 1. See, if I execute the program, we will have a data 1. If I execute the same program again, we will get data 2. How many times you execute? Every time it will create a new data set. So if you do not want to create a new data set, if you want to keep all the data in your own data set, then what we should write? We should write out is equal to data set name. Now if I specify out is equal to temp1, now the transposed data will come into new data set called temp1. And tell me, just imagine how the data is going to get transposed. Now we are going to have by default a variable called underscore name underscore. Then we are going to have from call1 to call end. How many columns we are going to have in this scenario? Tell me which value is going to get transposed first? What is the numerical variable that we have in the DS1? First numerical variable?
ID.
Now the first variable, it will transpose this ID. Now ID, what is the value we are going to have in the call1? We are going to have a call1 101, then we are going to have a call2, then we are going to have call3, and then we are going to have a call4 because we have 4 observations. 4 observations will become 4 variables. So 101 will come into call1, then 102, then we are going to have 103, and then we'll have a 104. And what is the second variable that will be get transposed? The second variable will be age variable. Age variable, and the value we are going to have is 27. and the second value, sorry, the first value is going to be 23, and the next value is going to be, 27, and the next value we are going to have a 29, and then we are going to have 21. And what is the last variable that we can have now? We are going to have the last variable, sal. So now we are going to have here, 5,000. Then we are going to have 6,000. And then we are going to have 7,000. And then finally we are going to have 4,000. So what are the automatic variables you will get when you transpose a data set? Can you see what are the automatic values I'm getting here? Underscore name underscore, which contains the variables which has been transposed. And now we have a call 1 to call n. Since we have a 4 observations, now we'll have a 4 variables. And apart from that, in the real time, we are going to have one more variable called, what is the next variable we are going to have? We are going to have a variable called underscore label underscore. Underscore label underscore contains the label of the variables which has been transposed. If we have a label for ID, age, and salary, those labels will come into one extra variable called underscore label underscore. See, if I open the temp and data set, this is how we are going to have. What is the problem? By the way, I didn't execute this program. Now I'm executing first DS1, then executed, proc transpose. Now this is how we have the data. So this is what we have explained, and this is what we have got. Understand this, everybody? Very, very important procedure in the real time. We have so many applications in the real time. Clear?
Sir.
But if you want to transpose a specific variable, what is the program you should write? I told you by default it transposes only numerical variables. But if you want to transpose specific variables, now you should write a proc transpose. Data is equal to the data set which you want to transpose. Out is equal to the new data set name. I want to have a temp2. Now you should write a statement called var statement. In the var statement, I want to transpose ID variable, name variable, age variable, sex variable, and salary variable. Keep a semicolon. Now write the statement. Now select this entire program and execute the program. Now we are going to have a temp2. Now, can you see? Now it has transposed all the 5 variables of the data set. Sorry, sometimes the system is getting crashed nowadays. It won't get crashed. Now tell me, if I write a proc transpose, data is equal to SAS help dot class. Out is equal to, if I write DS1, semicolon run. Tell me what is the scenario in the DS1 data set? Anybody?
All numeric variables are into the data set.
Now, what are the numerical variables that we have in the SAS help dot class?
Age, height, weight.
Age,
height, weight.
Height, weight.
Age, height, weight will be transferred. Now, do you know how many variables I'm going to have in the new data set DS1?
19.
Very good. 19. Because in the SAS help dot class, we have 19 observations. 19 observations are going to become 19 variables. We are going to have from call 1 to, how we are going to have call 2, call 3, like this one up to, we are going to have how many? We are going to have 19 observations.
19.
And along with that, what we are going to have? We are going to have variable called underscore name underscore. In the underscore name underscore, what you will have? You will have what variables we are transposing now? Age variable. We are going to have height variable. Then we will have a weight variable because these are the 3 numerical variables we have in the SAS help dot class. So now all the 3 will be get transposed. Now select the program and execute the program. Now go to libraries. Go to work library. Here we have a DS1. Now, can you see we are going to have from call 1 to call 19 plus we have underscore name underscore. Clear this one? Now, if you want to transpose all the 5 variables, then what should I do? I am writing proc transpose data is equal to data set name, which is SAS help dot class. Then what should I write? Now I'm writing out is equal to DS2. Now I want to transpose all the variables. Then I'm writing var statement. Yes, I want to transpose name, then sex, then age, then height, and then weight. Let me call them back. Okay. Now if I select the program, execute it. Now all the 5 variables will be get transposed. Now, sorry.
Outplace
All the 5 variables is going to get transposed. Now, what you are going to have now? We are going to have DS2. In the DS2, can you see? We have call 1 to call 19. And can you see what we have in underscore name underscore? Now, if you want to transpose only character variables, if you want to transpose only character variables, what you should do? You should write var underscore char underscore. Which variables will be get transposed now?
Only character.
Character.
Text.
If I want to transpose only numerical variables, so see, if I execute the program, yes, I will get the DS2. Or can you see? Sorry, I will execute the program, and then I will open the DS2 dataset. Can you see which variables has been transposed? Only name and sex. Now, I want to transpose only numerical variables. Of course, by default, only numerical variables will be get transposed. But if you want to specify what we can specify now, we can specify underscore numeric underscore. Age, height, weight will be get transposed in the DS2. But if you want to transpose all the variables, then what is the keyword you should write now? Anybody?
All underscore.
Very good. Underscore, all underscore. Execute the program. All the 5 variables will be get transposed. Understand this one? I'm writing proc transpose. Data set is equal to SAS help dot class. Out is equal to, I'm writing DS3. Tell me how many variables I'm going to have in the DS3 before opening the data set. Can you tell me?
Variables.
From call 1 to call 19. Call 1 to call 19. You will get 19 variables. See, if I open the DS3, yes, I'm going to have a call 1 to call 19. But now I do not want to have a COL call. Instead of COL call, I want to have some character string. Maybe I want to have student. Student 1, student 2, student 3, like that one. And if you want to have in that way, what you should write now, in the proc transpose statement, I am writing an option called prefix is equal to. Prefix is equal to whichever string you want to have, you can edit. Now I want to have, say, for example, student. Now I'm writing prefix is equal to student. Select the program and execute it. Sorry. Prefix is equal to write in a student without any quotations. Now select the program and execute it. I'm going to have a DS3. Now can you see how we have call 1 to call 19 now? Now instead of call 1, call 2, call 3, can you see what are the variable names I'm having now? Student 1, student 2, student 3, and so forth, and so on. So instead of COL call, if you want to have some character string, what I should write? We should write a prefix is equal to whatever the string that you specify, and you will get that. In the same way, now this time I'm writing proc transpose. Data is equal to SAS help dot class. Out is equal to DS4. I'm writing var statement. I want to transpose name, sex, age. I want to transpose height and weight. Keep a semicolon. All right. You know that if I execute this program, now we are going to have 19 columns, call 1 to call 19. Now we have a call 1, call 2, like that one. After that number, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Now what I want to do, I want to have some character string. Now if you want to have a character string after the column number, Now we are going to write an option called suffix is equal to. Suffix is equal to, I want to have a string, say for example, I want to have a character string, maybe say for example, school or something. Now see, if I select the program and execute it, can you see what we have now? Call one school, call two school, call three school. That's how we are going to have. Now, if you want to have a prefix, now we should have a prefix is equal to. Now I want to have, say for example, student. Now I'm writing suffix is equal to student. Now select the program. You are going to have student 1 school, student 2 school, student 3 school, and so on and so on. Clear, everybody? So prefix is equal to give some character string before that number. Suffix is equal to give character string after that number in the column position. Clear, everybody? Now, proc transpose data is equal to SAS help dot class. Out is equal to, I'm writing DS5. I'm writing where name, sex, age, height, weight. If I execute this program, I will have a DS5 dataset. In the DS5, we are going to have from call 1 to call 19. In the call 1, these all 5 values belongs to which student? All these 5 values belongs to what is the student?
Joyce.
Joyce. Now, call 2 information belongs to Louis. Call 3 information belongs to Alice. Now, my question is, instead of call 1, why can't I have student name Joyce as a variable name? So anyway, since all these 5 values belongs to the same student, can I have instead of call 1, Joyce would be more meaningful, isn't it? Second variable lo, call 2 place lo, em name was meaningful ga untundi. I want to have Louis here. Here I want to have Alice. I want to have James, then Thomas, then John, then Jane, then Janet. So I want to have a student name as a variable name. Now, these Joyce, Louis, Alice, James, Thomas, all these names belongs to, all these values belongs to which variable? Before the transposition?
Name variables.
ID statement. In the ID statement, whatever the variable that you specify now, this variable values will become variable names in the transpose dataset. Understand what I'm saying? So this variable values will become variable names in the transpose dataset. Now say, if I select the program and execute the program, now I will have a DS5 dataset. If I open the DS5, now can you see how we have the variable name? Instead of call 1, call 2, call 3, how we have the variable names, sir? The student names are coming as a variable names. Now it is more meaningful, isn't it? Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is how we are going to have. Now I'm writing proc transpose data is equal to SAS help dot class. Out is equal to, I'm writing DS6. I want to transpose name variable. I'm writing where name, 6, age, height, and I'm writing the weight variable. Now, in the ID statement, I'm writing the name variable. Tell me, how many variables will we get transposed now? 5 variables. And then how we are going to have? We are going to have name values as a variable names in the transpose data set that we have already seen. Now see what I'm going to do. Now in the ID statement, I am writing namespace 6. So in the ID statement, I'm writing two variables. Now see, if I select the program and execute it, now in the DS6 data set, now can you see how we have the variable names now? Can we see how we have the variable names?
Along with the sex.
Name values, the sex values has been concatenated. We have both name value and sex value is coming as a variable name. But name and sex values are concatenated without any space. So, you know what I want to do? Between the name value and the sex value, I want to have, underscore. Now I'm writing, so for example, I'm writing a delimiter is equal to, now I'm going to specify an hyphen. Now say select the program and execute it. So sorry. So select the program and keep that, hyphen symbol. Sorry, you don't need to write anything. I think simply you should write the delimiter only. Now select the program, not getting. Go the data set, execute the program. What that error that we have? Delimiter is equal to what's wrong with delimiter?
DI.
Can you see what I have now? Between the sex value and the name value, we have underscore. Now, if we didn't specify that delimiter is equal to underscore, what will happen? Just we are going to have name values and sex values without any string, without any space. Both will be get concatenated. But if you want to have a underscore between them, what is the option you should write now? You should do the delimiter is equal to underscore. Understand this one? So in the ID statement, you can add the multiple variables. So if you add multiple variables, both values names, without any space, the values is going to get concatenated as a variable name. But if you want to have underscore between them, you should write now delimiter is equal to underscore. Now, think logically. I'm writing proc transpose data is equal to, I am writing SAS help dot class. Then I'm writing out is equal to DS7. Now, var statement, I'm writing name, sex, age, I'm writing height, and then I'm writing the weight. In the ID statement, I'm writing sex variable. Tell me, what are the variable names that we are going to have now? What are the variables that we will have now?
From here,
We
and
will get
we have to take the
extra
servers from here as well.
male, female.
How many variables will get, by the way? In the DS7?
19.
19.
19.
So what are the 19 variable names is going to be?
Keep all
Male or female?
details. So whatever the width, it will be
So now, if you specify ID sex, now
We'll get
9
one.
variables are going to have 9 variables is going to have variable name F. 10 variables are going to have variable name M. Is it possible? Can we have 9 variables with the variable name F? 10 variables with the name N? In one data set, can I have a variable names F like this one? And can I have 10 variables M like this one? Can we have 2 variables with same name in one data set? Is it possible to have in that way? No. You cannot have two variables with one name in one data set. So then how we can have 9 variables with one name?
We will get two variables only now, sir.
See, if I execute the program, now you'll have a DS7. If I try to open, I didn't get any data. I want to check what exactly happened. Now I will go to the log window. Now this is the warning, the error I'm having. Can you see what the error I'm having now?
ID value of occurs
ID
twice.
value. ID value F occurs twice in the data set in input data. So when the female F is coming for the second time, it understands second, we have F for the second time. So that's why the program has been stopped. No, we didn't get any data. Understand this one? So that means if you wanted any variable in the ID statement must have what values?
Unique value.
If you want to specify any variable in the ID statement, that variable must have a unique values. You should not have a duplicated value. Understand this one? Is this clear, everybody? So,
Yes, sir.
if you wanted any variable in the ID statement, that variable should have unique value, should not have any duplicated values. And after, now I'm writing proc transpose. And before that, what I will do, I will create a data set, data class. I'm writing set saself.class. Now, while I'm doing this one, I'm writing if sex is equal to, capital M. Means I want to have only male students in the class data set. Now, I am writing, proc transpose. Data is equal to class data set. Out is equal to, I want to have a demo 1 data set. I'm writing, what else I want to transpose? I want to transpose name, sex is, I want to transpose height, and I want to transpose weight. And by the way, in the ID statement, now I am writing a variable called weight. Now, can I write ID statement weight variable or not? By the way, weight variable contains only unique values, so we do not have any duplicate values. Now, can I write a weight variable in the ID statement? Now tell me, if I write a weight variable in the ID statement, what are the variable names are going to be?
56.5 like numeric values.
Can we have a variable name like 56.5 like that?
No, sir.
Why?
Variable names character
should not start with. In the starting, I discussed if you want to say any variable, if you want to keep a variable, what are the variable naming rules that we have?
It should be character at the
Start with character.
Should always start
should
with
not
a
start with.
So a variable should be less than or equal to 32 characters. So you should start with alphabet and underscore. You should not have any special characters except underscore. Okay. And, so these are the rules we should have. Now, see, if I execute the program, then since I'm writing ID weight variable, what are the variable names are going to be? First of all, either test is going to get created or not. Now see, I'm selecting this program, executing it. Yes, I have a demo 1. Can you see, do we have the data? Yes, we have the data. Now, can you see how we have the variable names? Since in the ID statement, I have written the weight variable. Weight variable contains only numerical data. Can you see what SAS has done? So before the numerical value, it is keeping underscore. Because you know that you can start a variable name with alphabet or underscore. Now, yes, we can have underscore 83 as a variable name. Underscore 85 as a variable name, you can have. But here the weight value is 99.05. When we have 99.05, what is the point? You should not have a dot symbol as a variable name. Can you see when we have a dot symbol, what SAS is going to do? SAS is keeping D for decimal. So whenever you have a dot symbol, SAS is keeping it as a zero. SAS is keeping D, and before the numerical value, it is keeping underscore, so that now it is possible we can have a variable name like this one. So that means in the ID statement, you can specify a numerical variable, but that variable should not have any duplicate values. Understand this one? Is this clear, everybody? Clear? Okay. Now, I'm writing proc transpose data is equal to SAS help dot class. I'm writing out is equal to, I want to have a DS1, and I want to transpose name variable, and I want to transpose sex variable, age variable, I want to transpose height, and I want to transpose the weight variable. Tell me, if I execute the program, how many observations I'm going to have? How many variables I'm going to have? How many variables I'm going to have?
19.
5. 5.
How many variables we are going to have in the DS1?
19, sir.
We are going to have a call 1 to call 19. Okay. Now, what I want to do, now I want to transpose by sex. So that means I want to transpose males separately, male students separately, and female students separately. So that means I want to transpose SAS that class, but I want to transpose it by sex. Now, do you know if you want it anywhere by statement, what is the prerequisite?
Proc sort.
We have to sort it. We have to first of all keep the females and males in order. Then only we can use the data set. You can write the by statement. So before doing that one, I am writing proc transpose. Proc transpose data is equal to, I'm writing first the proc sort. I'm writing proc sort data is equal to SAS help dot class, and out is equal to, I want to have a transposed data in, sorted data in the class data set. Now I'm writing by sex semicolon run. Now tell me where we have a sorted data now. Where we have the sorted data?
Class.
So now in the proc transpose, what should I write now? I am writing the class data set. Now say if I select the execute the program, now we are going to have a DS1 data set. Now, can you see how we have in the DS1 data set? Now the data will be get transposed separately for males and females. Now can you see here? We have call 1, call 2 up to call 9, because we have 9 females. The data has been separated separately for females. And again, now the data is separating for based on the males. So now can you tell me how many columns I'm getting now? Maximum 10 columns, call 1 to call 10, because we have 9 females. So for females, we have from call 1 to call 9, and for the males, we have call 1 to call 10, because it is separating separately for males and females. Clear this one? అంటే ఇప్పుడు మేల్స్ కి సెపరేట్ గా ట్రాన్స్పోజ్ అవుతుంది, ఫిమేల్స్ కి డేటా సెపరేట్ గా ట్రాన్స్పోజ్ అవుతుంది. మరి ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇదే ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని కనుక ఎలా రాశాను అనుకోండి, నౌ టెల్ మీ ఇఫ్ ఐ రెడ్ ద బై ఏజ్, హౌ ద డేటా ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి. And by the way, since I'm writing the by age, first what should I do? I should sort the data by age. Now, so I'm writing SAS dot class. Then I'm writing out is equal to, I want to have a class data set. Now I'm writing by age semicolon run. Tell me, if I execute this program, how we are going to have? Do you know how many 11 years that we have? We have 2 11 years and we have 5 12 years. Okay. And we have, 13 3 members. Then we have a 14 4 members. Then we have a 15 4 members. We have 15 4 members. Then we have a 16 1 member. Tell me how many columns we are going to have. This is going to be call 1. This is going to be call 2. This is going to be call 3. This is going to be call 4. And this is going to be call 5. How many columns I'll get now?
5.
Maximum 5 columns. See,
5
if I open
columns.
the PS1, now I'm going to have from call 1 to call 5. Now tell me, if I specify the same program like this one, if I transpose the data by name, since I'm transposing it, I'm writing proc data is equal to SAS help.class. I'm writing out is equal to, I want to have a class data set. I'm writing by name semicolon run. Now, what is our guess? Now, how many variables I'm going to have in the DS1 data set?
19
One call, sir. Call 1.
We are going to have only one column. You know why I'm getting here two columns, 2 variables here in 11 years? Because
Repeated.
2 members with 11 years. Why I'm getting 5 here?
5
Because
people
with the
get
12
1
we have 5 students.
5.
But how many students do we have with one name?
Only 1.
We have only one student. All the 19 names are unique names. Now, how it is going to get transposed now? It is going to get transposed. We are going to have only call 1. We have Alfred separately, Alice separately, Barbara separately, Carrot separately, like this one. Understand this one? So now, how many variables are going to get? It depends upon how many values that we have, in each group of the by variable. Clear, everybody? Is it clear, everyone? No.
Yes,
And
sir.
finally, the last statement that we have in a copy statement. What copy statement can do? Copy statement will display the variable values in the original position. Now I'm writing like this one. Now, proc transpose data is equal to class. I'm writing out is equal to, say for example, class 1. I want to transpose name, sex, age, height. Wait, if you do not want to transpose any variable, what we should do? If you do not want to transpose any one variable, you should not write that variable in the wrap statement. If you didn't write that variable in the wrap statement, you won't get that variable at all. See, if I delete that name, if I transpose that one, I'm going to have a class 1. Now, only 4 variables has been transferred: sex, age, height, and weight. But I want to have variable name in the original form. Name variable original ఎలా ఉంటుందండి? Vertical గా ఉంటుంది. 19 observations ఉంటాయి. I want to have name in vertical manner. If you want to have any variable in the original way, now we are going to write a statement called copy statement. In the copy statement, I'm writing the name variable, select the program and execute the program. Now you will have a class 1 data set. Open the class 1. Now can you see? The name variable is coming in the original way and the remaining 4 variables has been transposed. So if you want to have any variable in original format, original manner, then where we should write that one? We should write that variable in the copy statement. Clear, everybody? So these are the statements that we have in the proc transpose. Clear? Tell me one more time. Finally, why we use the proc transpose? What is the purpose of proc transpose?
Observations check and transport.
If you want to convert variables into observations into variables, what is the procedure that we use? Proc transpose. And what is the basic procedure that we can write? Proc transpose data is equal to the data set name, then run. But program, by default, which variables will be get transposed? Only numerical variables. And then, Raj, can you keep your camera off? And by default, the transpose data will come into which variable? Which data set? The transpose data. Raju, can you keep your camera off? So by default, where will get this data? Transpose data?
Data 1.
Data 1.
But if you want to save this information in your own data set, what we should write?
Out is
Out is equal.
Out is equal to
At the
data
same
set
time,
name.
if you want to transpose specific variables, what is the statement you should write?
Var
statement.
name
So in the var
age
statement,
6.
whichever variable that you specify, only those variables will be get transposed. But if you want to have it, any variable values as variable names in the transpose data set, what is the statement you should write?
ID.
Statement.
ID.
If you want to write any variable in the ID statement, that variable must have unique values.
Unique.
Then, if you want to transpose the data based on a specific variable, what is the statement that we write? By statement.
Sir?
The transpose data set. If you want to have variables in the original manner, if you do not want to get transpose any variable, if you want to have as it is, what is the statement you should write?
Copy.
Statement.
Copy statement.
So these are the statements that we have in the proc transpose. And apart from that, I told you we are going to have an option called prefix is equal to. We have an option called
Prefix.
suffix. Suffix is equal to.
Delimiter.
We can write delimiter is equal to what you can write? Underscore. Clear, everybody? So this is called proc transpose.
Delimiter can be anything, sir. Not only
Can-
underscore.
no,
You can
you can-
keep
you can-
any special character.
No. Because in a variable name, you should not have any other special characters except underscore. So delimiter is equal to, you can write only underscore.
Okay. Sir.
Sir?
Yes.
When we use ID statement, that value is repeated 2 times, sir.
But because I specified that variable in the var statement and ID statement, that's why it is repeating. If you do not want to have in the data, so you no need to write that variable in the var statement. Okay?
Thank
you.
Any doubts in
Sir,
the yes.
Sir, you have said the number of columns based on the bivariable value. Please, can you explain that once? I did not understand.
So
Number
for
of
example,
columns.
if I write like this one, how many I will do this one. How many variables I will get if I execute the program?
19. Call 1 to call 19.
Because in the system, because we have 19 observations, those 19 observations will become 19 variables.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you will get 19 variables. Call 1 to call 19. Now, if I specify by sex, that means I'm asking transpose by gender.
Okay.
So that means now it will be get transposed separately for females and separately for males.
Okay.
How many females that we have? 9
9
females. So now we'll get from call 1 to call 9. Okay. How many males we have?
10.
We'll get call 1 to call 10. So that means what is the maximum scenario that we have? What is the worst case possible that we have? We'll have 10. So we'll get call 1 to call 10.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So if I say by age, then what will happen? Now based on the years we get transposed. Now 11 years separately will be get. So we have 2 members. So call 1 to call 2. And 12 years we have 5 members. So now we are going to have call 1 to call 5. 13 years 3 members. So you'll get only call 1 to call 3. We have 14 years 4 members that we are going to get call 1 to call 4. Then 15 years 4 members that we are going to have call 1 to call 4. And then 16 years only 1 member will get 1. So what is the worst case scenario that we have here?
5.
To call 5. But now tell me, if I by name,
Call 1 to call 19.
why 19? Do we have 19 same names?
No, sir, it's unique.
All 19 names are unique. You'll get only call 1. Because we have Alice only 1 name. Alice is going to come as a call 1. We have Alfred only 1 name. That is going to come as a 1. And we have a Barbara 1 name. So Barbara is going to come as a 1. And we have, say, for example, Carol 1 name. And we are going to have Carol only 1 observation. So all 19 names are unique names. So you'll get only call 1. Understand this one?
Yes, sir.
This is called proc transpose. Very, very important in the real time. Okay. Definitely you are going to get an interview question from the proc transpose because such what you call usage that we have in the real time. Please practice the proc transpose. And of course, it is going to be a little bit confusing. Practice with multiple examples, multiple times so that you'll get an idea. Okay. In tomorrow's class, we'll go with one more procedure. So far, and of course, in the day before yesterday, somewhere somebody sent me the SID file. Thanks for that SID file. That SID file is going to get expired. Remember when I discussed the last time proc estimate, what was my SID file expiration date?
September or something.
September 2022, right? But some of our students, in this batch only, somebody sent me that new SID file. They downloaded the SID file. Now see, with this SID file, I can have my license. Can you see up to what point?
February
2023.
No. With a warning period, it is going to end on
March
30.
30th March.
13th 2023.
Sir, SID file 8 PM batch lo kuda pettara sir.
Okay, ma'am. Everybody is having access to this one. I told how to renew the SaaS software with this SID file.
Yes, sir.
So use this SID file to install, to renew the SaaS software so that you can work with the current date up to 30th March 2023. Okay, that means for these 4 months, so those 7 months, so almost 8 months time that we have. By the time somebody will upload again SID file so that you guys constantly try to Google it so that we get every now and then you get an SID files with current dates. Okay. Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, send the notes.
See you in tomorrow.
Sir, send the notes.
Okay.
Yes.